Alright, so I've been playing Goblins of Elderstone for a bit now, and I feel like this is one of those games that it's kind of messy. It's a little unpredictable, but also kind of its own thing. And I actually ended up enjoying it more than I expected. So basically, this is a city builder, but instead of managing normal villagers, you're dealing with goblins. And that one change does a lot more than you think. You're still gathering resources, building stuff, expanding your village, but the way everything comes together feels a lot less controlled. It's not clean, it's not super structured, it's kind of just happening in the forefront. Something you can just put in the background or not really worry about. But after a while, it starts to click. For an hour or so, it just felt like you were placing things and hoping it worked. It doesn't really hold your hand as much as you think it would, due to the lack of tutorials. And the UI is a little bit it's a little unique. And when I first started playing this game, I wasn't completely sold. There is a lot of jank. There's a lot of things going wrong. It could be the AI, it could be a lot of things. But it feels like you don't have the control you think you would with any other normal city builder, any other simulation game, honestly. It's fun. It's fun enough. The core gameplay is pretty standard for the genre. You collect resources, build structures, assign jobs, and they just try to ruin everything. But what makes it different is how unstable everything feels. They'll die, they'll run off into a ravine somewhere, they'll auto path into a pack of wargs. You're not just managing resources, you're managing a system that doesn't always cooperate, whether that be the jank AI or systems not working, the trader not showing up when they're supposed to, or anything similar to that. The goblins themselves are kind of the main challenge. They've got needs, moods, and their own little unique traits. And if things aren't going well, they'll just stop being useful. They'll be a burden, and there's no real way to get rid of them. Which is not ideal when your whole village depends on them. One thing I do like in this game, it gives you a few different ways to approach it. You can play it safe, focus on building up your economy, trading, making all that dodge, just so that you can fill in the spots that you're missing out on because, as you know, the goblins aren't very helpful. Or you can be a bit more aggressive, expand faster, get resources before everything else, before the waves of enemies build up on your systems. And there's also the whole religion system, which adds a different layer to manage. It's not overwhelming, but it's enough to keep things interesting. You assign yourself to different gods, which will give you different bonuses. They don't explain why you should get these bonuses, or how it actually helps, or what you can even do to displease them. All you have to do is press that little green button and have a guy on it. Which I think they could have worked on a little bit more. I think they could have assigned it to certain playstyles, and that's what they like. Which gives you a chance to miss out on things and increase the effectiveness of the ones that you're going towards. The game throws in random events every now and then, usually the same event over and over again, asking for 20 frogs or whatever it was. Sometimes they're helpful, most of the time they're not, and after a while you do start to see the same ones. It's not a huge deal, but it does make things feel a bit repetitive over longer sessions, especially that goddamn swan. I don't need to see. I'm not giving you my frogs. I have no frogs, especially if it's in the first event that you get. A lot of them will ask for things that you don't even have access to yet. I'd say visually the appeal of this game is not the visuals. The visuals are just a carrying device of the gameplay. It's pretty polygony. The visuals are pretty nice. The lighting does well during the nights. And, you know, the visuals for the goblins themselves are pretty cute. And I think that does work for this game. It is kind of a backseat game after all. The lack of structure in the way everything's built makes the village feel a bit more natural. Whether it be the walkways, the tunnels, the way everything is so tightly packed or so loosely put together that you can tell it's made by a goblin, that's for sure. Very shoddy design. Sound-wise, it's fine. It fits the game, nothing really stands out too much. It's the kind of thing you don't really notice, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I would say it's not anything spectacular or grounding. It works, it does its job. I would much prefer to have your own music playing over this game, or whatever side project you have working at that moment. This is probably the part where we talk about the bugs. We talk about the UI friction, we talk about the AI problems. There's some rough edges. The UI can feel awkward. You'll run into some jank here and there. There's no direct option to turn off the UI, which made it a little bit painful to record this video with that little text box at the bottom left there, which I could not get rid of, and I didn't really find much use in even looking at. It doesn't completely ruin the experience, but it's definitely noticeable, especially with the AI. Goblins will not go in the right place, but not in the funny way. They will just leave. They won't work, especially in combat situations where you need to actually defend your village. You will assign them to a certain building, and then they will basically go wherever they want. They will suddenly decide, I'm hungry. And they will leave their station, and then you will have to assign someone else to that station straight away, otherwise you're doomed. There is a little bit of replayability here and there, although most of your runs will feel the same. You have the same progression. A lot of the story elements will repeat themselves. The tutorial that you have to be forced to play at the start, it gets pretty graining over a while, especially when you just want to retry after a pretty unlucky run. So it does rely on map generation very heavily, depending on how good your run is, especially if you have certain enemy or ward dens that are just sitting around in between resources. So it means you have to build something adjacent just so that you can path your goblins properly to actually go around it, which is annoying in an already annoying system. So overall, there's a lot to like here, but there's a few things that hold it back. It feels different from other city builders, just a tad above the rest. The organic building system is pretty cool, I guess. There's a decent amount of flexibility in how you play, but it's rough technically. With the 2.0 update, they have removed a lot of things, they have added a lot of things, but it feels the same how it used to be. The UI could be better, they've had time to work on it. We need an option to turn off UI, or an option to disable certain parts of UI, and honestly, I probably won't be replaying it again. It's a one and done for me. I did enjoy parts of the game, although it's definitely feeling that it's not my cup of tea. So is it worth it? It's worth it for the price. Currently at the moment, it is priced somewhere on sale for a pretty decent amount. You could probably find it cheaper on GOG. If you like more relaxed, slightly unpredictable management games, you'll probably get something out of it. But if you're looking for something really polished, I'd suggest you look elsewhere. Overall, I'd say Goblins of Elderstone is interesting. It doesn't always feel smooth, and it can be a bit frustrating at times. Anyway, that's pretty much my experience with it. If you've played it, I'd be curious to hear what you think, and yeah, thanks for watching. I would suggest you give it a look. And for those who are wondering, this game was given to me through Steam keys for free, so this is my review copy. These are my opinions on the game. I will not say it is based on that, and these are my opinions on the game. If you'd like, you can check it out yourself to get your own grasp on what you think, but in my opinion, I would recommend skipping this, or if you're curious about the comfy management type game sim, then I'd recommend you give it a go. And yeah, thanks for watching. And for those who do enjoy my content, I do recommend you checking us out on Twitch. We are live at least twice a week. We do play these games for reviews, and we check them out to make sure they're actually worth your time. But if you are interested in any more of that, feel free to check it out. I do appreciate you all so much, and thank you for sticking to the end of the video. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. This game sucks. Bye.